Hello, Journey family and friends. It's Pastor John and a whole bunch of people that are with us here today. Welcome to Midweek Conversations. First one in November.
Yep. Even though we have a lot of people, we still have to fist bump.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, let's do it all here. We want to be inclusive in the fist bumping.
Good to have you, ladies.
Pastor Dustin is with us, and we have Tammy Joseph and Cassie Conley with us today because we got to celebrate.
Before we get there,
we're a little giddy about that.
We are giddy. Before we get there, we had a great week. It was a great week last week. A lot of great things. Concluded Prepare the Way with your buddy.
Yeah. Pastor David Vaughn. He did great.
He did. I heard a lot of people say, man, it was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so good.
And he is funny.
And he is. He did a great job. If you didn't hear that, incredible message this past week. But also a couple things to note. Pastor John, 42nd year. You started your 42nd year on Sunday. The actual day was Sunday, right?
Well, it was the last Sunday of October.
The last Sunday
I don't
of
know
October.
if it was the exact, but it was the last Sunday of October is when I started
42 years of ministry.
Preaching, pastoring journey 42 years ago.
Not journey.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the
in
preaching.
General.
In general. Yeah,
exactly. The journey.
The
preaching,
journey.
Yes.
My preaching and pastoring journey.
Yes.
Exactly. It was the last Sunday. I said this at the second service. I didn't say it at the first service, but so I was 17. And so they hired me, and then I stood up and I said, "Hey, I know a lot of you are concerned that they hired somebody really young." I said, "I just want you to know I'm gonna be 18 this week."
Is that true? Did you say that?
I said that, and I don't.
Can you imagine? I'm 17.
I was joking, but I mean, I don't know if that made anybody feel any better about the whole deal.
Had recordings.
The man can't even vote yet.
Exactly. True. I was the pastor and I couldn't even vote. Barely driving.
So that was fun to celebrate. And then tomorrow we have a special day. Pastor John turned 60 years old.
Oh my.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
So happy birthday, Pastor John.
Hey, let me also give a shout out, and I don't know if we've ever said this, maybe no reason to. Tim Wolf, who serves here at Journey. Tim and I share the November 3rd. Yes. Not the same year. I'm older than Tim. But every year, we always have a little exchange back and forth. So happy birthday to Tim Wolf on November 3rd. And somebody came here on Sunday. His first name's Matt. He and I have the exact same birthday. He was born November 3rd, 1962.
Really?
So Matt, can't think of the last name right now, but you know who you are if you're watching. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, he'll be 60 on
That's great.
November 3rd as well.
So grateful for you, Pastor John. Know and love you, and so many other people as well, so we hope you have a happy, awesome
Thank
birthday.
you. I am confident that it'll be special. Both my girls are going to be here with us this weekend, so that'll be really special. And Rachel's birthday is the next day. My youngest daughter is November 4th. But we want to talk about...
Well, not yet. So one of the things that one of the things that we've started doing is we want to have a progression of things to kind of come around you and celebrate. So we had a golf tournament last week.
Oh yeah, we did that. We did that too.
So with your best buddy who loves golf, David Vaughn loves golf. So we put together a group. I think 17 guys came together.
17 guys, yeah, it was fun.
And had a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Tammy's husband Wilson was out there, who is one of my favorite golfing buddies. And rumor has it, you got first place in the golf tournament. So congratulations on first place.
And who was on my team?
You had a guy named Jim, Dave, and I happen to be on his team too. But but I will tell you, I was by far the worst. I had actually a really bad round. Pastor John was hot on Friday, and you can see a photo. A lot of great guys came, and it was just a good time to hang out with men and do something you love to do.
Well, David Vaughn is a real golfer.
He is.
He's the real deal on the golf course. And Dustin and I were just having fun.
Yeah.
But I appreciated that. That was really fun. All the guys that came out, and everybody got a little door prize.
They did.
Everybody got a little going their way prize. I made sure of that.
Pastor John came out and emptied his trunk. He had all kinds of goodies. And everybody's walking away with something.
I collect all this golf paraphernalia,
swag,
we'll say.
Yeah.
From tournaments and all kinds of stuff people give me. And I thought, what a great way to bless all these guys.
What a great way to...
So we had a little drawing, and everybody went home with something.
Yes,
it may have been something they'll pass along.
All right,
can we talk now?
Now I'll let you go. Unleash them.
Tammy and Cass helped lead our serve day, and this past Saturday, it was, first of all, great weather, overcast, great weather to be out working in different areas that we're working at. How many different sites did we go to?
We went to 22 sites in Apopka and 8 sites in Lake County. Sure. So 30 total.
30 total. And how many people served at Apopka and Lake County?
We had 518 total between both campuses.
And we had over 600 registers, so that means there were some folks that couldn't make it for whatever reason, and that happens. Mm-hmm. That happens. I think last time we had over 400 registered, and we had just a little under that in actual show up, but over 500 people. So that's almost 200 more than we had the last serve day. It's about 160 more than we had the last serve day.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. So another fist bump, ladies.
And here's
you guys did awesome.
Before we get to some of the stories, every site takes a lot of work. Oh. So everybody just shows up and everything's just magically done.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's about 10 people that are inside each of these ladies that just run everything. I mean, they have so many different multitasking skills. There's relationships with each project, whether it's a school or a home that they developed. Then there's the needs. Then after the needs, there's all the details. Okay, do you need mulch? So we got to order mulch. We got to ship mulch. We got to, all the details plant. I mean, you can't even imagine the amount of details without any of the stories of just that. And one of the things we've talked about as a staff is, one of the things we say is everybody loves the idea of revival, but there's an actual leadership cost to revival. When there's a lot of people that show up, somewhere there's a leader making something happen. And you guys behind 518 people are the leaders that have paid the leadership cost for what everybody else gets. And we're so grateful, not only for what you do, but how you do it. Always a joy, always kind, never stressed out. And at least to us.
Like the duck under the water, right?
Maybe to us. I don't know what happens at home. But
on the surface, it's really good.
Yeah, and just great. We're just grateful for y'all. Y'all do a great job. So
yeah.
I will say we have an incredible staff that supported us. But this year was the first year Cass did a great job. She had numerous orientations for our project managers. So we've really tried to develop this year the project managers because they're the ones that carry out. So we took their feedback from last serve day and we've really tried to equip the project managers.
So were there 22 project managers? One at each, or 30 project managers, one at each site?
I think we had one site at Rolling Hills that had 4 project managers. That's the one we did the bus loop for.
Yeah,
And so
there were a lot of co-leaders.
Yeah, a lot of co-leaders.
That's awesome.
But it was really cool to see some non-staff project managers kind of step up to the plate. And we actually got some really great feedback on how they were blessed by leading some of these sites.
And that's part, I know your vision, Pastor Dustin, of developing leaders. Absolutely. That's kind of part of how you develop leaders. Yeah. You give them responsibility, see how they do with that, and you see people step up, you see people emerge. You know, what's so exciting to me is people who've never really served before. And they come sometimes by themselves, sometimes with their family, their kids, and they served before. And when you get a taste of serving like that, you say, I want to do this again.
Well, Dustin came up to me at one point and he said, you know that one site, it was Sweetwater. You know that one site, they have all like first-time servers. And I was like, well, I pray before I do it because I had no idea that happened.
Is that right?
One site, I thought it was a strategy.
You talking about the Sweetwater Living?
The facility, yes, the assisted living facility. The team lead and a couple of them, I'll meet with them and they said.
That was Susie Johnson.
Yeah, she said all first timers. And I said, Tammy's really got it together to figure that out. And I tell Tammy, I said, kudos. She goes, that was God. And so it was one of the things we say too is, obviously we say this a lot, is there's always a next step when following Jesus. And this is a lot of people taking a first step into serving.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's a first step in them trying to have community or just connecting. And that's what I think you're referring to as well. Is it's just cool to watch that take place.
Tammy, share a little bit that you did we kind of had a little celebration Monday morning with all of our staff. But I love what you said about that. We had so many people sign up, and the thought was, what are we going to do? Where are these? And the last 2 weeks, just, you know, I didn't write it in our team notes as we were saying this, but, he who has ears to hear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. And there's just a lot of Holy Spirit direction. Share a couple of those.
Yeah, so for me, it's like a catch-22 because you can't have the sites without the people, and you can't have the people without the sites. And so a lot of the planning comes down to the last few weeks as people are signing up. And so last Sunday, or the Sunday prior to Serve Day, I was like, we need at least 4 or 5 sites, new sites. And so I reached out to somebody who's really connected in the community, and they got us a Apopka High School. And then there was at least 3 of the resident homes that through us just saying, we're having a lot of people sign up, we need more sites. We had one dad that I was talking to on Sunday morning, and I was like, he wasn't asking for help, but I could feel it. And I said, this is what we're looking for Serve Day. We have Serve Day coming up in just a few Saturdays, and we would love to be able to send a team to your home. And he was almost like not really sure how to respond to that in that moment. And then I had another woman.
Let's stop there, because this one, that wasn't at the last second. It was the last second to us. God knew the whole time. He's the same one that came up to us on Sunday at church, and he kind of rattled off a lot of highlights of his life. And I mean, he's got some great highlights. And then he got emotional, and he said, out of all the highlights, yesterday, and he was referring to Serve Day, was the greatest day of his life.
Isn't that amazing?
He said, and he said, I felt seen. I felt like I belong. After all this, and it's just how God, as Pastor John was saying, it's just how God and the Holy Spirit was whispering to y'all. And that's just, man, that gets me fired up. I love that.
And the Tammy and Cass, you got to have an ear. You got to, so, you organize right, but you pray, and then you just say, let's see what God brings us. Let's see what doors God opens.
And only he could have done that because even I loved the Holly's house that we went to. Pastor Jeremy led that site. And Holly was another one that came up on a Sunday, and we were talking, and I was like, Holly, let's do this for Serve Day. And I love the picture that our team took at that site because she had her I Love My Church shirt on.
She did.
And everyone else had their Serve Day shirts on. And that was another one.
And there at least 3, correct me if there were more, there were at least 3 widows in homes. I don't know if there were more than that. Or were there any widowers? But they
no
were,
widowers
but at least 3 widows.
Single parent, some single parents as well.
I love that because, as James, the New Testament writer, says, pure and undefiled religion is honoring and serving orphans and widows. And when we're able to serve widows like that, younger and older, I thought that was really cool. Ben Belangi, let me just say one quick. So Ben had a team at Wekiva Elementary, and he said that one of the neighbors came across and just saw their team out there and said, what are y'all doing? And he said, well, we're from Journey. It's a Serve Day. And he said, really? He said, this is amazing. And there were joggers and walkers, because it's a real heavy residential area right off of Hunt Club. They'd come by, who are you guys? What are you doing? And they would just share. Isn't that cool? And people were saying, good on you.
At Wekiva, we had Serve Day, and the people were out there till about 11:30, 12, noonish. But there was a fall festival that also started at that site.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that.
At 11.
That was one of the sites we drove to and got to see that.
Wasn't it at Apopka High School that Pastor Randy led that a Journey member was just passing by and he was like, hey, that's my church. He recognized our church for Serve Day.
Love where you live.
And he told Pastor Randy, he was like, hey, can I just jump in and serve? I just live right here. And he's like, come on, come change.
So are you saying it's 519? Is that what I just heard?
I think he was counted in there, but I thought that was super cool.
That is awesome. Well, it gives people a sense of pride, in their community, but a pride in their church. Hey, we heard that the mayor of Mount Dora that showed up at our Lake County.
Showed up at our Lake County campus.
And gave a little encouragement and all that. And isn't that awesome?
Here's why that is really cool to me, and I didn't share this in SLT. When we preached this series, Love Where You Live, 3 years ago, and started this idea, it actually came from a book called The Art of Neighboring.
Yes, yeah.
And the art of neighboring, the whole idea was these 20 pastors got together in Colorado.
Yeah.
And they went to the city officials and say, how can we help? And they said, if you simply go love where you live, it would take all of our social services down. And they did that for a season. And the government official said, what can we do now to help you? Because you are the best agency for our community.
Well, and as what we
That's what I love.
When you start seeing mayors and city councilmen and all that start showing up, that's a whole different platform. Yeah. So ladies, be ready. I mean, I don't. Yeah, right.
Here's one of the things I love too, and I know y'all are strategic with this, but I'm seeing it more with the locations. It's not just widows, but a lot of assisted living. So really the theme is a lot of vulnerable. And that's the heart of God. And that's what I love is coming alongside the vulnerable, whether they were the Orlando's Children's Church, which is an outreach for kids, and just the vulnerable. And that when I see that, I know that's the heart of God. And I get, as Pastor John said, we just get so excited and proud of that.
Well, the book you mentioned, I think that's Rick Russo, right? Didn't Rick, or was it another book?
Okay. I think he has a similar title, or maybe that title. I can't remember the guy that wrote this one though.
Well, our friend Rick Russo, who has also talked a lot about neighboring, he had this phrase, and I love it, and we saw that happen. We don't want to be the best church. We don't want to be known as the best church in the community. We want to be known as the best church for the community.
Yeah, isn't that good?
That's good.
Yes.
And when you see all these red-shirted people mulching this one site that Clay Springs, Tammy told me we were gonna head out there, and she said, "Let me tell you, it's a little hike just to get into it, wasn't it?"
It was.
I mean, and I was thinking, because I drove out there and I saw it, they really take elementary age kids from that building all the way back to
well,
that.
They haven't in over 3 years because of how overgrown it was. But yeah, they do. It's a conservation area for gopher turtles. And so it was amazing. Ashley, one of our residents, led that team, and she did such a good job. But her biggest worry of leading that team was, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the entrance of where we're supposed to start cleaning because of how far it is.
Well, there was a family that were at that site with Ashley, and they showed me their picture, and they showed me the before and the after. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, they literally made a path and uncovered. There was like a split rail wooden fence underneath all this overgrowth, and they were so proud of that. And had two little. It was a man and a woman and their two grandsons that were part of that team, and they were just so proud.
Yeah,
it's cool to see individuals showing up, families, couples coming to serve together, and then some. You know, we had one guy, he brings his whole business out.
Oh, exactly.
George Rivera.
Yeah.
Doc Watts Electric. Yeah. Not only did he bring his whole staff out, he brought a couple trucks.
He did.
One of them being a big box truck, which when we were at, I believe it was the Gomez house, I think.
Yes.
That's how we got rid of a ton of the debris, because who knows, I mean, it was so much debris. And that box truck, we made 2 or 3 loads, and what a cool way of just saying, hey, how can I help? I could do this.
Let me tell you, I've went on a mission trip in another country with George. George takes no prisoners. George Rivera, Doc Watts, he gets it done. He works hard. And so for our last serve day that we did earlier this year, he had some of his employees come, and he said, I am going to get all my employees to come to the next serve day that we do. And
isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
It was cool. For me, the biggest thing seeing them, he runs his business like a family.
Yeah,
and
he really does.
It was amazing just to see them all together.
Pastor Dustin and I are going over to his Doc Watts just built an addition onto their office. It's really nice. And we're doing a building blessing for them next week.
Next week.
Going over and just doing a blessing. So
here's George and I and a couple other people. We're at the house, and I haven't told you this, Pastor John. This is the scariest moment of the day. Tammy, I don't know if you were there or not.
I just got there to witness
Well, then maybe Tammy's on. We have this big tarp kind of thing that is full of leaves, and we're trying to try to pick it up and put it in the truck. And somebody right there kind of screams and shouts, snake.
Oh, no.
And then drops it. And it's a big pile of leaves. And we can't see a snake. And then like 3 seconds later, everybody's like, all right, pick it up. That doesn't really fly with me, Pastor John. So we had to do a little bit of an inspection. TJ doesn't do snakes either. And so we were a little we were a little nervous, to say the least. So what do? We pick it up, put it in the box truck, have no idea where that snake is.
So there wasn't a snake.
Oh, there was a snake.
Oh, there was a snake.
Oh, there's definitely a snake.
Okay, gotcha.
But now it is in Doc Watt's electric truck somewhere.
Well, speaking
Took
of,
one for the team.
So are we officially now a snake handling church? I mean, it sounds to me like we are.
I didn't handle one. I was more of a snake observing church.
Cass, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, this go around, we actually had a few families that offered their dump trailers and trailers and huge, trucks and company trucks. One family in particular, so this is a 19-year-old boy. He comes by himself to Journey a few months ago, and he said he had come to the New Hair Center. He's like, me and my family are looking for a church, and I've been wanting to try out Journey. And he came by himself and loved it, and he raved about it. Went home, brought his family the next weekend. They're starting to get plugged in, and then for Serve Day, it's their very first Serve Day that they're serving, and they offered to bring their dump trailer and offered to go to multiple sites. And so that's what their family did.
Wow.
Is they went to multiple, they started at Panorama, which is another senior living facility, loaded up, I think, probably 3 or 4 loads of the dump trailer. And that's how their family served. And I thought that was so cool.
Everybody has a part they're playing. But here's the thing. They're not just randomly doing that. You and Tammy have done a great job with the registration. When somebody registers, y'all have created a myriad of boxes they can check. Hey, do you have these tools? Do you want help with this? Yeah. And it's make people go, oh, I do have some of this. I am good at this. Let me help in that way. And I thought that was a great way to lean on everybody's unique skill set. So kudos to you guys.
Well, I just can't tell you how proud I am of both of you ladies and the leadership you've given. Just unbelievable. I mean, and Pastor David, on Sunday talked about the church working right.
Yeah.
If this isn't the church working right, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I mean that. If this isn't the church working right on a Serve Day and how fun and how much got done and how people were engaged, and the residual impact of people will continue to serve. And that's something we want to say. If you feel like, man, I'd like to serve, you can join us. You go to journeychristian.com/serve.
Yeah, we have jobs in the AC and where you don't have to get dirty. We got all kinds. It's not only outside and dirty.
It's a little easier on the weekend, but Cass does a great job leading our connections team. So important. I know she'd love to connect with you from a connections level. Just a lot of different ways we welcome the value of everybody's welcome. Our connections teams help with that. Tammy leads our next gen ministries here at Journey, ministering to all kinds of kids and families. So, but there's way more than that even. So check out journeychristian.com/serve. We would love to have you join us. But
not only do I want to brag on y'all, I'm grateful for y'all, but want to brag on you. Yeah. You don't know, you probably only have Serve Day in the context of Journey, but we're not the only ones that do a Serve Day. There's a lot of other churches that do some type of thing like this. But I do think what's unique to Journey is the amount of participation. Mm-hmm. There's just something special about you and how Journey leans in to loving our community. And I love that. And so really, really grateful.
Well, Pastor Dustin, I think it was you a couple years ago when we started, you wanted to kind of launch the Serve Day, and it's just grown from that vision to do that. And I know that's part of reaching our neighbors with love, serving the hurting. All that more was done developing leaders. Serve Day is kind of a microcosm.
Absolutely.
Of all what God's put on your heart.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool to see that. Thank you, ladies.
Yes, thank you. Any final words?
We're going to take a day off this week. It's on camera.
It's on camera.
I think you should take a week off.
Hey, when the boss man says that,
seriously,
they're going to be gone by lunchtime.
I think you should take a week off. Hey, we got to give a special shout out to our man behind the camera, nobody's seeing.
Yep.
Mr. Mark, our video wizard here at Journey. Yes. Leah, thank you, Leah, one of our residents. Hunter, who was a part of this as well.
He's no longer the man behind the camera. Mark, go sit in that seat.
Oh my gosh.
Go sit down.
What's happening here? What is happening here?
Oh. All right, Mark. Oh boy. There you go. Okay. Okay. All right.
How do I put this on?
There he is.
Oh, there's Mark. All
There's
right.
the legend.
All right, Mark, you got a fist bump in. You got a fist bump in here. All right. So, Mark, seriously, how long did it take you to edit that video?
I mean, I was up till about 2 a.m. The most time-consuming part is just organizing all the pictures and videos from each site. I mean, it's over like 7 sites or whatever it was, or more than that, I think. But just organizing all that and then having a team, like you said, Jared, Hunter, Leah.
Yeah, Jared.
Jeremy Tomlinson was doing stuff at his side, and Chandra, my wife, went to a couple sites. So it's not something I can do on my own. So
yeah,
it was almost a entire serve day team just doing that.
So just so people can see that video that I'm pretty sure is probably on our website or on our social media pages. So check that out. But putting all that together in a matter of hours. But Mark, he makes this stuff look easy. It's not. It takes a lot of time. So.
Yeah, and I apologize for the shaky camera shot.
Exactly. Yeah. We got an amateur back there now. All right. So
was I supposed to hit record?
Hey, the person on the camera doesn't talk. You gave up the mic, so we don't want to hear from you anymore. You gave it up. Hey, this week we start a new series of messages. Excited about. This is going to be a fun series. It's a little bit of a kind of a walk down memory lane for me in a little ways. So Mark, he's of course he helps me on every series, but we've identified, and Tim Wolf, thank you, Tim, the most viewed messages that I've preached at Journey over the last 12 and a half years. And so we're calling it the Viewers' Choice Awards. And we're going to kind of walk back and revisit and re-preach the 4 most viewed messages. I won't tell you what they are. One of them was really viewed a lot, and we'll start with that one this week. So looking forward. The Viewers' Choice Awards starting this Sunday in November. And then next week, we got to tell everybody, we got a great December. I mean, and both these ladies are helping again with that. Jingle Jam featuring Light Up Journey, the first weekend of December. You'll hear a lot more about that. And then we just got a lot to talk about in December. But ladies, well done. Rest a little bit. Get a breather. Mark, well done. Mark's going to take some time off, well-deserved time off in the coming days. So grateful for that. Thank you for joining us this week in Midweek Conversations. Hope you join us in worship this Sunday, 9:30, 11:15 a.m. at Apopka, Lake County, or online. And as always, we are loving the journey.
You're supposed to have it on just him.